So let's talk about throw techs a little more. The only time that you really actually cannot throw in a random scenario is if your opponent tries to throw you, and then 2 frames later, you try to throw them. Now, as I go through the state, Yun gets thrown, right? Yun through second. And it's only if you throw 2 frames after your opponent. However, there does exist a game mechanic or a bug where if you try to option parry forward and then throw, you can't. And this is important because sometimes you actually want to throw your opponent in a forward direction. However, you sometimes can't do it because of the fact that you have to tap and hold forward before you throw. And this is extremely prevalent, especially in Oki situations or when your opponent is trying to tick throw you. So if you want to actually not get thrown like this, there's a couple ways that you can do it. And the first thing that you have to understand is that you can only parry when you're not inside of some other state in the game. Now what I mean by this is, if I get knocked down by Gouki, and I hold forward and throw, I will be able to tech, right? Because if I hold forward here, I'm able to tech. Because I'm holding forward before I actually get up. However, if I wait and then try to tap forward and then throw, it doesn't work. The same thing exists off of if I'm crouching. If I try to tap forward and throw, it doesn't work. But if I'm crouching, and I see myself get thrown and then I hold forward, I'm able to throw. Very simple. So basically, anytime that you get hit with like a tick throw of some sort, like this, you have to consider the amount of frames that you now are invulnerable to throw, and that's 6. And now this is normally used for guard jump, where you block, and then you jump, and then you block again, right? But this also actually has to do with when you can parry. You can't really fully take advantage of parry until you've come out of this state. Now, when you've come out of this, state where you can't be thrown and you can actually parry, you have to consider the fact that you, if you want to get a forward throw, have to tap forward. So it will put you in a parry state. You'll be recovering from those active frames before you can even throw. The only exception to this is if you can tap forward and actually walk a step, which will cancel the window and allow you to tech. And there's 2 ways to do this. The first way that you can do this is by reacting to your opponent actually ticking you and knowing how far away they need to walk. Now, this is a read. It's important that you understand that it is a read on your opponent's decision, because if you see that they're walking forward and you're like, oh shit, I want to, forward throw them or I want to tech, you can't forward tech. You can only crouch tech or back throw. You can't tap forward and then throw, unless it's at a very specific time. Where, as you can see here, I tap forward in the middle of his crouching light kick, and I'm able to sometimes even throw him out of his throw attempt, where he doesn't get to throw me or tech my throw. And that has something to do with the other situation that I was talking about, where if I throw and he tries to throw me 2 frames later, he gets scooped. And the reason why that's important is because here Gouki is Kara throwing, which means that his throw comes out 1 frame later than it normally would if you're just walking forward and throwing, like in this scenario. Or this scenario. So basically, if he's ticking you and I try to forward throw, and he's not Kara throwing, there's no way that he's not teching in most scenarios, unless you get that exact same frame. And it's possible to happen on both sides, because here I didn't parry. Here I tried to throw him by holding forward. So that bug does occur, it's just not super often. It's maybe 1 in 10 times or so, but it does occur. The other way that you can deal with it is with a Hadouken. So in this game, there is a motion called the Hado Walk. Now what that means is that if I set my opponent here to do my recording, he's going to do Fierce Punch 9 frames later. But as you can see here with my inputs, I'm doing down back, and then I'm doing a fireball motion, and then I'm doing a parry. So I'm actually taking a step forward and I'm still able to parry. And the reason for that is because when you input a special move, it doesn't eat your parry. It counts as you moving, basically, already. So you still have your parry window available to you. And the same thing exists off of this, where if he is trying to just tick throw you over and over again, you can start from down back, and as long as you finish a Hadoken before you throw them, you should be able to tech. So the 3 ways that you can tech is by crouch tech, which is this, but it is susceptible to down parries or forward parries if your opponent wants to deal with this sort of game that way. Or you can stand and back throw. That works. Or you can throw them like this. The other way is holding forward after they have successfully ticked you as a read. Because if he were to do close standing medium punch and then, crouching medium kick, confirm into DP or confirm the Tatsu DP or whatever, then I'm screwed, right? So no matter what, if you're getting tick thrown, then it's a read. It's why you should always react with a back throw, or always react to things with that Hado walk sort of scenario, where you try to react as late as possible, and if you want that forward throw, it's okay. Because, as you can see, he's already in the middle of his throw, and I'm still able to do that quarter circle forward in most cases to get that throw.